Texas officials are trying to arrest Democrats. Texas Democrat officials have fled the state to block a vote put forth by Texas Republicans.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save up to £240 for a family of 4.
Come on, that was funny. It seems like whenever there's a crisis in Texas politicians just leave immediately. And I know someone's gonna say, what, Ted Cruz isn't allowed to go on vacation? No, he's not! Refill his tank and give him some fish food. He'll be fine. Now, Republicans in Texas are putting forth a redistricting plan. This is an effort to create 5 Republican-leaning districts just in time for the midterms next year, as Republicans hold a slim majority. That's not slim, but you get what I mean. Normally, redistricting happens every 10 years. This marks the 5th year in this cycle, which is deliberately timed to help Republicans in those midterms. If this still isn't making sense, this is gerrymandering. You remember that from school, I hope. And gerrymandering is like HOAs, always a scam trying to give really annoying people power. That was a bad comparison. I'm just in a beef with my HOA. This is useless. The gerrymandering of these already gerrymandered areas plans to redraw areas like Austin, Dallas, Houston, and the Rio Grande Valley to favor Republicans. Honestly, we're all in favor of redrawing the district of Austin, Texas. Redraw it in the ocean. We don't want it. Actually, don't. Then Ted Cruz will be in charge of it. Democrats have fled the state, meaning the state house doesn't have 2/3 quorum. Basically, they don't have enough people to finalize the vote. I also didn't know what quorum meant. This would stall the plan, likely only for a little bit, because Texas officials have issued arrest warrants for these Democrats that are now out of the state. Now, immediately going on vacation, the second your job makes you do something you don't want to do, is actually the most Democrat thing Democrats have done this year. But Republicans have a history of this as well. House Republicans just went on vacation to block a vote put forth by Democrats to release the Epstein list. It's like the second these people need to work, they disappear. Faster than the Epstein list.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, sir.
just making sure you're paying attention.
Welcome to the Semi-Daily Night Show. I'm your host, Gary. Trump is launching the presidential fitness test again. Trump has put together the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and they held a press conference.
Proud to be on this team. I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve, and I'm here to serve you. Okay, so I'm gonna do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, I know that looks bad, but he's a perfect fit for a government job. That is Lawrence Taylor, former NFL linebacker and registered, I can't say that word. Let's go with registered offender. And I know what you're thinking. Gary, a registered offender is now in charge of a kids program? Well, yeah. I mean, he loves children. What? It's a joke. So you're telling me that Republicans, the party of Save the Children, hired a man with that history? That's f***ed up. But I'm starting to see a pattern. And Triple H, the WWE wrestler, is leading the council on the sports, fitness, and nutrition program. And here was the announcement from the official White House Twitter account. He did that because RFK Jr. told him there's communism in that water. And honestly, there probably is if it's Dasani. This was put together in an effort to keep the Make America Healthy Again movement going. Something we can all get behind, considering obesity rates keep rising, which means things like the PACER test will probably be coming back.
The Fitness Gram PACER test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues.
I'm sorry, I had to do that. But given the fact the president campaigned from a McDonald's drive-thru, and the leaders appointed to this council have more steroids in them than Lance Armstrong's left quad, it leaves us to ask, are these really the people that should be in charge of American children's fitness? No, that guy isn't even allowed within 300 feet of a school. How is he going to write a program to help the school? The Trump administration should have hired one person and one person only for this. So with these weird decisions, we have to ask one question. Is this decision gonna backfire? The Epstein Files are getting worse for Trump. In newly released footage, it shows there was a third unidentified person outside of Epstein's cell. This is footage from the 3 missing minutes of footage that they denied existed. And since releasing, if you go and watch it, there's a cursor on the screen. This is ridiculous. We used to be a great country. Now our psyops are lazy. They're just screen recordings. And the Trump administration is still lying about it. Listen to Dan Bongino, the director of the FBI here.
We're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
Except the metadata of the file shows it's been edited to combine 2 different clips together. In Adobe Premiere. I use Adobe Premiere. Even I know if I'm trying to hide metadata to a file, you export it twice. It's not that hard. But they are learning from their mistakes because Ghislane Maxwell, Epstein's right-hand woman, has now been moved to a low-security prison in Texas that prohibits the surveillance of the inmates. This prison is referred to as Club Fed. It's basically a club for now federal informants. And instead of bottle service, they actually probably still get bottle service. These aren't really prisons. They're basically the Hamptons for people who commit tax fraud from the Hamptons, but get caught. They're referred to as prison camps, which I didn't know existed, except for the one Stanley Yelnats III and Hector Cerrone were sent to. And oddly enough, she's probably digging a hole for herself, given the history of how her accomplice ended things last time, especially considering there are no cameras in this facility. And good job, CIA. You actually learned from your mistakes this time. You can't lose any footage if there's no footage to lose. Trump just fired the head statistician of the jobs report because the numbers made him look bad. Some are now calling America a banana republic. Can we please stop politicizing clothing brands? First, American Eagle, and now Banana Republic? I need them to stay open. They make a good camp collar shirt. Shut up, I thought that was clever. A report came out on Friday of the number of the US jobs created in July, showing that the job market shrunk under the Trump administration. The woman in charge of the report at the Bureau of Labor Statistics also put forth some revisions for June and May, showing a slowing in the economy. Trump is claiming she did this to make him look bad, which he was appointed by the Senate in 2024, and J.D. Vance even voted yes for her back then. Is her last name Epstein, J.D.? Because I haven't seen you change your mind that fast since him. The BLS basically has to get a sample of the data from the entire US economy, which is insanely hard, so there have been efforts to improve this. But the Trump admin actually fired the agency that was trying to make this data more accurate. With tariffs, Doge, and other cuts, there have been some weirdness in the economy. So with the data coming in later, the original report was revised to numbers Trump didn't like. You can see here that after Liberation Day, the revisions came meaning job growth tanked. It turns out Liberation Day was the day many of us were liberated from our jobs. Trump actually used to like the numbers.
The numbers were much better, as you know, than projected by the media. In 3 months, we have created 350,000 jobs. Think of that. A lot of jobs are being created. That's what happened this morning.
But now, Trump doesn't want to work with anyone who disagrees with him. Also, does firing her mean it'll show up in the jobs report? Or does he just hire someone immediately? President PEMDAS again with the 4D chess. The only thing that can make these times more confusing is like a threat of nuclear war. That would really suck and honestly be...
Back to live now from Fox, as we are learning right now that President Trump has ordered 2 nuclear submarines he positioned in regions near Russia in response to threats from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev.
Oh, fuck.